Hey, what's going on guys? Oscarmini here, and this is my review for the itel P36 Pro. Now we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, and everything there is about this device. And so without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Now the itel P36 Pro is itel's iteration of the P series that succeeds the itel P33 from last year, and this year we have the P36 itself and the P36 Pro. I would have a link in the description to that smartphone's review, that is the P33 from last year, if you want to check it out. So I've basically had the itel P36 Pro for a couple of days now and use it as a backup device, and things are a little more interesting than I thought. But before we go on with the review, kindly hit on that subscribe button and do not forget to turn on post notifications to stay notified on this channel. And with that out of the way, let's head into the unboxing of the smartphone. itel no doubt makes some of the best smartphone packaging in my opinion, and the P36 Pro isn't an exception here. The nice looking red box can be slid out into two parts, and then on opening these other parts, you're first greeted with this little screen protector film, then the smartphone, which I'll be laying aside for now. A layer down is this tough plastic case to protect your device, a 10-watt charger, a micro USB cable, and a headphone for media consumption. If there's one thing I really like about the itel smartphones, it's how sturdy their builds are, especially for the price point at which they come in. You get a regular dewdrop notch at the front, housing the front-facing camera, and also a 6.5-inch LCD panel. The left side houses the dual SIM tray with a dedicated micro SD card slot, while to the right, you get the regular power button and the volume rocker button. A plain top is what you see from the P36 Pro, and to the bottom from left to right are the 3.5mm headphone jack ports, the mouthpiece opening, the micro USB 2.0 ports, and the down-firing speakers. So these are basically the standard I/O and buttons here. Things begin to get a little more interesting when you turn to the rear. That camera module with the dual cameras and an LED flash obviously is iPhone 11 inspired. Although I'm not a huge fan of that kind of camera arrangement, a lot of people are. A few persons have seen this device with me while testing it and already fell in love with the design, and that was even without having to check out the specs of the smartphone. Other things you find at the rear include the fingerprint sensor and the branding towards the bottom left corner. So in terms of look and quality, itel has a strong game going on this time. A quick specs of the itel P36 Pro shows that you have 2GB of RAM, 32GB of internal storage, and a UniSoc SpreadTrum processor which is clocked at 1.6 GHz, actually an octa-core processor on here, running on Android 9 Pie. Basically not the fastest processor here, and multitasking shouldn't be your main thing if you want to get this smartphone. I usually wouldn't test out heavy games in my itel reviews, but this time I decided to take things up a notch and played PUBG on here. You definitely see the stutters, and the graphics actually does struggle for heavy titles on the P36 Pro, but for someone on a budget who wants to play these games occasionally, it is something that could kind of work. I mean, I was able to win a match using the smartphone. The major aspect where the P series does shine is in the battery, and the P36 Pro nailed it too. You get a 5000 mAh battery capacity on the phone with a 10-watt charger to slowly charge up this device. You can easily get out of this smartphone a 2-day use, considering the fact that it powers a processor that isn't really power hungry and has to push pixels to an HD resolution display. The 10-watt charger is an improvement though, as the last device from this brand I reviewed had a 5-watt charger in the box. In terms of the camera, you get a dual configuration at the rear, housing a 30MP lens and a second depth sensor, while the front has an 8MP shooter. With good lighting, the photos are usable, even for social media. In fact, I had honestly expected worse than what I saw here. Even though you do not get the best details here, I mean the photos are usable. You guys should check out the photos and let me know what you think in the comments. Videos on the other hand are not the best, and you can record at up to 1080p. So generally speaking, the cameras and the selling points for the P series. The batteries are, and the P series obviously has its fan base. Now the price of the itel P36 Pro is where I'm a little concerned. I understand the Naira isn't actually stable at this point, and conveying these devices from across the world, like where they're manufactured to Nigeria, costs a lot right now. But for a price of 3,500 Naira or about $100 right now, is this something people would really want to get? You can also get the regular version, which is the itel P36 for 33,500 Naira or roughly $80. Hopefully the price gets to come down in the coming weeks. So would I recommend this smartphone? Well, it does have its target audience. Individuals who really do need affordable devices that have the superior battery life and want to be able to occasionally mess with regular non-heavy games without much worries about the stutters in performance, then yes, you can get this. But if you'd have to do a lot of multitasking, playing heavy titles and want the best performing smartphone, up your budget, as this isn't for you. And there you have it, my review on the itel P36 Pro. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do not forget to like, share, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't done those already. Other than that, is goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Cuídate.